hi everyone. My name is Reichelle Carlos. I'm the Program Director of Bayan Innovation Group, and I will be leading today's session about cooperatives. So I want to introduce the founding members of the Cooperative Governance Council. So I would like to formally present the founding organizations of the Cooperative Governance Council. So we have, I would like to invite Father Anton Pascual, who is the chairperson of Union Metro Manila Cooperatives and the chairperson of One Cooperative Bank. He is also the chairperson of the Governance Council of Cooperatives. And I will let Father Anton introduce the rest of the founding members. Good afternoon, Father Anton. Are you there? Can you see me po?
Yeah, I see Reichelle, beautiful as ever. Okay, no? Can everybody hear me? Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Glad to be part of this first Philippine Cooperatives, the SE, no? Summit, no? Of Bayan Academy, no?
Good afternoon, Father Anton.
Good afternoon to everyone, especially from the different subsectors, no? And joining us. Allow me to introduce the members of our co-op subsector. Ako po, Father Anton, yours truly. Kasama natin dito, yung po ang ating Vice Chair. Walang iba, the beautiful Dr. Divine Kenny, no? The Chief Executive Officer of Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives in the North. No? Isang napakalaking billionaire agri-federation. Kasama din po natin my good friend Father Clay, no, Bagano. He is the director of Northern Luzon Federation of Cooperatives and Development Center, or famously called Norlu SEDEC. Yan, no? Father Clay, good afternoon. Kasama din po natin
good afternoon. Good afternoon, Father.
Good afternoon. Naimbag na malim. Kasama din po natin Panjo Margarito, Vice Chairperson.
Yes, Father.
Alliance of Cooperatives, we back. Good afternoon.
I-check mo na ito kay Kaduan, Putok Rossi, Price.
Good afternoon, Panjon. Kasama din po natin
Father
Ed Micayabas, no, the CEO of First Cooperative Community Cooperative, or FICO, the famous FICO. Ang FICO po ang the biggest community cooperative in the Philippines. Number 2 in the Philippines.
Father, good afternoon.
Sir Ed, good afternoon. Kasama ko lang si Sir Gani kanina sa ating meeting. Okay, these are some of our well-known leaders in the cooperative sector, at the rest will be joining us. Back to you, Reichelle.
So eto no, so si Sir Panjun, si Sir Egay, and si Father Clay are the leaders who are present here with us, but there are also founding members who unfortunately have prior commitments and won't be able to join, no. So let me also introduce them to you, no. So area cluster leaders for NCR and South Luzon, we have Sir Roy Miklat. He is the President and Chief Executive Officer of One Cooperative Insurance System of the Philippines, Life and General Insurance, or One CISP for short. So they provide life insurance for the cooperative members. Next, we have Sir Edwin Bustillos. So Sir Edwin is the Chief Executive Officer of the Philippine Cooperative Center. So tomorrow we have a session with Sir Edwin wherein we will talk about the history of cooperatives, their initiatives in building a cooperative economy. No? So tomorrow, abangan nyo yan if you want to learn more about the cooperative sector. Also, we have Dr. Gary Leonardo, the chairperson of San Dionisio Credit Cooperative. Unfortunately, Sir Gary is out of the country and won't be able to join us today. And again, like what Father Anton mentioned, we have here Sir Panjun, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Western Visayas Alliance of Cooperatives. And for Mindanao, we have Sir Edgar Micayabas, Chief Executive Officer of First Community Cooperative. So together, these cooperator leaders make up the founding members of the Cooperative Governance Council. Ayan. So let me just share a quick chart for you guys. Okay, no? So present tayo sa North Luzon, NCR, South Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Yung sa mga iba pang mga cooperatives na nandyan and who would like to be part of this roadmap. No? So tune in lang kayo. Later, we will give instructions on how you can be part of this important roadmap. Okay. So at this point, I would like to give back the floor to Father Anton, no, and the rest of the leaders, no, for the manifesto. So they have the physical copies, no, but I will also be flashing kung ano po yung i-recite natin. So Father Anton, hope you can lead the leaders, no, in reciting the manifesto as a testament or proclamation of your individual commitment to be part of this national SE development roadmap.
Okay, welcome and glad to lead our manifesto of partnership with Bayan Academy, representing our cooperative subsector. Okay, allow me to read it, and together let's join me. Whereas BPI Foundation, through its BPI Synod program and in collaboration with the big subset and the critical actors of the component subsectors of the country's social enterprise sector, namely corporations, cooperatives, NGOs, academe, MSMEs, associations, spearheaded the development of the National Social Enterprise Development Roadmap, herein after referred to as the Roadmap, which was launched in the 2021 Philippine Social Entrepreneurship Summit. Whereas the Roadmap is a national plan that has the end of goal of having a common understanding of what social enterprises are, so that the Philippine social enterprise sector's collective scope, size, and social environmental impact can be effectively grown. Whereas to sustain the implementation of the roadmap throughout the relevant 5-year planning period, a key strategy identified was to establish a sector-led governance system represented at the national level by sectoral authorities that will lead the roadmap's implementation throughout their subsectors. Whereas, to jumpstart the implementation of the above-mentioned key strategy, a series of technical working group meetings were conducted from September 2022 to February 2023 with critical actors of the component subsectors of the country's social enterprise sector, namely corporations, cooperatives, NGOs, academe, and MSMEs associations, collectively therein, after referred to as the subsectors, whereas the said TWG meetings have the following objectives. 1, to establish a sector-led governance system represented at the national level by sectoral authorities that will lead the roadmap's implementation throughout their subsectors. And number 2, to organize the subsectors into the governance system with representation from the subsectors' major apex networks. Whereas the authorities of the cooperative subsector who participated in the said TWG meetings have agreed to organize the subsector's collective contribution to the roadmap's implementation by organizing relevant Philippine cooperatives into a network that will be known as the Philippine Cooperatives for Social Enterprise Development. Now, therefore, for and in consideration of the foregoing, the signatories to this manifesto, collectively hereinafter referred to as the parties, have agreed to forge a partnership and work together for the collective contribution of the Philippine Cooperatives for Social Enterprise Development for the implementation of the roadmap towards the achievement of its intended end results.
So what's next, no, for these founding members, and ano ba yung roles and responsibilities nila as part of the cooperative leaders who are supposed to guide the sector in furtherance of social enterprise development in the country? So during the development of this roadmap, we actually came up with some strategies already, on how this ought to be implemented. So we have for strategy 1, if you remember, ito yung pagtayo ng governance council. So for the cooperative subsector, there are 2 action programs. So one is for the national apex to organize the cooperative union system as the subsector's mechanism for implementing the social enterprise roadmap advocacy through the regional and secondary unions. No? So later, i-explore pa natin kung paano ba yan. Ano ba yung tertiary, ano ba yung secondary. Later, Father Anton will be able to explain that. And one action program also is to organize regular fora with CDA or Cooperative Development Authority and large cooperatives for the sector unification dialogue towards the organization of a strong union system. No? So very different din tong cooperative subsector from the other subsectors like NGOs, schools, and MSMEs kasi ang cooperative subsector very organized na rin sila, no? They have their own governance council and systems already. Kaya we can actually capitalize on the existing structures in furtherance of the other strategies and action programs. For strategy 2, which is about the SE registry and accreditation system. So action program is to promote the effective tagging of cooperatives in the social enterprise registry and accreditation system to be established. No? So ano yan, mga wish list yan ng mga leaders na magkaroon ng data registry system ang cooperative sector so that they can measure their social impact and their contribution to the GDP. So hopefully in the next 5 years, because of this roadmap, we would be able to do that for the sector. Another is to push the Tatak SE and the cooperative marquee, which is a global logo to represent and recognize cooperatives as a branding standard for public awareness campaigns and for programs initiated by cooperatives who have adopted the social enterprise principles. No? So I think it's about time for cooperatives to be promoted, to be recognized for all the efforts they have done in the past decades, no? So, ayan, meron na tayong avenue and space to do that. And for the third strategy, which is about policy and advocacy, so it's really to provide support to the national and local social enterprise policy advocacies through the national apex and the cooperative unions. So gagamitin natin yung union system natin para mag-represent sa cooperatives at makipag-usap, no, in furtherance of the social enterprise and cooperatives in the country. For research and education, so meron din tayong contribution to the knowledge management hub. So para yung mga evidences, mga resources, learning materials about the cooperative as an ideology-based social enterprise ay magawa natin ng paraan, no? So yung mga cooperative leaders, sinasabi nila sa atin na kailangan ng professionalization, succession planning, and other technical skills that would contribute to the promotion and professionalization of cooperatives. So hopefully, if we have a knowledge management hub, meron ng repository and resource center for such learning materials. Another is to deliver the cooperative as an ideology-based social enterprise education agenda through the organized union system. So far, there are a few advocates of this. No, we have PUP, you have UP, of course, Bayan Academy and Bayan Family of Foundations are doing their best to promote the cooperative education, no? But hopefully through the union system, mas magkakaroon tayo ng maraming players who can educate the sector. Lastly is to orchestrate a sector-wide social audit analytics program that can double as a monitoring system for the cooperative sector's contribution to the cooperative values and principles and to the UN SDGs. So ano nga ba ang social impact ng cooperatives? No? So hopefully pag na-initiate natin yan, malalaman natin yung data. And to mobilize, no, ano yung mga resources na gagamitin natin to implement all of these action programs, we can actually strengthen the membership of the union system so that we can mobilize the cooperative education and training fund for cooperatives. No? So again, very distinct for the cooperatives that they are really mandated to appropriate a certain net surplus for such programs. No, so kung before hindi ba pa masyadong maraming programa ang union system, no, for the next 5 years, please expect, no, cooperatives, cooperators na mabubuhay ang union system natin at magbibigay sila ng mga programa for education and advocacy of the sector. So at this point, I would again turn in the floor to Father Anton, no? Kasi meron din siyang mga gustong i-share na mga programs and goals and strategies of the cooperatives. Father Anton?
Yeah, thank you, Reichelle, for that comprehensive roadmap, of our cooperative subsector. Practically, sinabi na in a nutshell, nakita na po ng ating mga participant coming from the other subsectors kung saan papunta ang ating cooperative subsectors to be guided, by our Bayan Academy moving forward. At kasama ko nga dito si Panjun from the Visayas, saka si Ed from Mindanao, in order for us to work together. Ang cooperative po sa Pilipinas ay hindi ganun katandaan, matapos siya 100 years pa lang siya, 1915. 1915, according to the government, the official establishment of the cooperative in the Philippines. And after 100 years, ito po ay mayroon na, according to CDA, hindi po kami under SEC, cooperatives are under CDA, Cooperative Development Authority. I think ang mga NGO and corporations are under SEC, pero kami po ay under CDA, Cooperative Development Authority. Ang cooperative daw po ngayon ay around 18,000 organizations nationwide, different sizes from micro, small, medium, large, and billionaires. And tayo po ay around 10 to 12 million individual members. Let me repeat, ang cooperative po sa Pilipinas, according to CDA, mga 18,000 organizations in different sizes, micro, small, medium, large, and cooperative, and billionaire cooperatives, and around 10 to 12 million individual members. Mga 10% of our population at the moment are one way or another member ng cooperative. Siguro po sa inyong kumpanya, merong institutional cooperative, o sa ating barangay ay merong community cooperative, Kaya yung mga teachers, merong occupational cooperative. Most of the cooperatives are either community, nasa isang barangay, o isang kumpanya, institutional cooperatives. So ito po yung in a nutshell, gaano karami tayo sa Pilipinas. At let me show you, itong PCC is one of the leading national cooperative federation na kami po ni na Dr. Divine, who is our chair, kami na Panjun ay makakasama dito po sa Philippine Cooperative Center. At meron po kaming ginawa na vision and mission and where the coop sector is moving forward. Pag sinabi ko pong cooperative subsector, ito po yung mga registered cooperatives under Republic Act 9520. Pag sinabi namin cooperative sector, mga registered kami. Yan. Pero meron din kaming movement. Meron po tinatawag na cooperative movement. At kasama sa movement, hindi lang yung co-op sector, which are the registered cooperatives, kasama din po natin yan, all organizations helping and working with cooperatives. Andiyan ang government, andiyan ang academe, andiyan ang mga NGOs, andiyan ang mga faith-based communities, at yung pang mga organisasyon that are active in cooperativism but they are not registered cooperatives. Bahagi sila ng movement. Pero pag sinabing cooperative sector, we just talk about the registered cooperatives under CDA. Yan. Kaya movement eh. Kaya sa corporation wala yatang movement, sa NGO walang movement, sa academe walang movement, pero sa cooperative po meron talagang kilusan. No, kilusan. Yan, no? At yan po ay binubuo ng cooperative sector at meron din kami mga organizations that are committed in helping the cooperative sector attain higher level of cooperation. Okay, next slide. Ayan, no? Meron tayong forward mo nga, forward mo. Meron po tayong vision and mission. I would like to start there. Ito po yung ginawa ng PCC last year na looking forward sa papunta yung Philippine cooperatives, no? At ang vision natin, the Philippine cooperatives is the model preferred by people acknowledged leader in sustainability, fastest growing form of social enterprise. Kaya nga, sabi nga ni Dr. Morato, the quintessential social enterprise is the cooperative, no? Kaya cooperative in the general sense of the word is a social enterprise using business efficiency for a social mission. Meron tayong social mission. At ang aming mission, we empower and uplift the lives of our members in their communities. Whatever they are, barangay, palengke, kumpanya, transport, no? We are trying to empower our members to help themselves. Let us go back to the pillars. Meron kaming ginawang pillars. Balik tayo ulit. Yan. Meron kaming ginawang pillars for those who are here sa Cooperative Center na sa buong Pilipinas, we tried to subdivide all the cooperatives into 6 pillars. And these pillars are also the one being used by the government in its clusters. Kaya 6 po. Kaya kung gusto nyo makita ang cooperative kung nasaan siya, nasa 6 na pillars na ito. Financial, ito po yung mga credit cooperatives. Yan ang pinakamarami, financial, no? Pangalawa, consumer and marketing. Ito yung po yung may mga tindahan at nagma-marketing. Pangatlo, human services. Alliance. Ito na may mga cooperative na sa human services that we will explain later. Education and training and advocacy. Ito naman yung mga cooperative na nasa continuing education and training. Pagkatapos, ito yung napakahalaga, yung agri-sector. Meron din po tayong cooperative na nasa agri-sector. And lastly, public utilities. Ayan, no? Nasa transport ng mga cooperatives. Yan. Kaya ito po yung aming ginawang roadmap, no? Sa cooperative sector in the Philippines. Saan papunta? Una muna sinabdivide namin into 6 pillars. Okay, let's look at every pillar quickly. Proceed. Thank you. Next. Yan. Ito po yung unang pinakamalaking pillar. No, pinakamalaking cluster sa 18,000 cooperatives in the Philippines. Ito po ang pinakamalaki. I think 80% of the cooperatives are one way or another involved with credit and financial services. No? Kaya ang aming goal, integrated cooperative financial system, yung pong i-synergize, no, mag-ugnayan itong aming mga credit cooperatives also with the financial federations, pati yung mga banks. Kaya ito yung mga programa natin, consultation, webinars, no, wealth taxation, pinag-uusapan namin, bring together cooperative federation, yung mga using digital, seryosong pinag-uusapan po ngayon sa credit operation, itong digitalization program, mergers and consolidations, we are being challenged by BSP. Meron pong mga around 23 cooperative banks that we are trying to merge and consolidate. Recently, nag-consolidate ang 3 bangko, Metrosat Cooperative Bank, Consolidated Cooperative Bank of Mindanao, and Bayan Cooperative Bank. At nag-consolidate sila at this coming Monday, sila po ay one cooperative bank na. No? Na kung saan ako po.
Good afternoon, Father Anton and Ma'am Rich. No? Pico has been in the industry for 69 years. We have around 103 branches all over the country, with an asset of 18.2 billion, with a 403,000 members, no? As of the moment, may mga activity kami, like we have a rice mill in Maranding, and we have to branch out another rice mill in Misamis Oriental. We are in with Water Service Federation, no? Yung sinasabi ni Father Anton, we started here in Cagayan, in the countryside, and hopefully we can escalate those mga projects namin in water in some areas, because we feel that water nowadays is very scarce, no? So talagang may problema sa water dito sa Cagayan, not only in Metro Manila, but here in Cagayan, problema talaga yun, no? Secondly, through the initiative also of our consultant is Sir Nidaba, nag-ano kami ng yung apps, no, mobile apps, yung sa mga tutulungan natin yung mga farmers, no? It's sad to say na sa news makita natin, marinig natin na kawawa talaga yung mga farmers, no? So what we are doing right now is that we are trying to establish a group of farmers in Merayon and in Claveria, wherein PICO will facilitate yung pag-in place na mga mobile apps na ang ordering is using their mobile phones, no? So mag-order sila, we will deliver the vegetable to the doorstep of our members. So yung farmers naman, ang importante lang sa kanila is they have to pack the vegetable na maganda para naman mapatronize sa ating mga members. So marami kaming project also with coconut, no? We are in also, may plan kami na magtayo ng planta sa coconut, because we want also to help the farmers na, kasi in every endeavor, like yung sa rice, yung sa coconut, ang palaging winner doon is yung mga traders, no? So kawawa yung mga farmers. So with the hope na ma-embrace natin itong mga social enterprise na mga projects natin, we hope that most of the farmers and the fisher folks will be benefited from this activity. Father Anton, thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Kaya nice ko lang pong ibahagi, no? Ang FICO, First Community Cooperative, is the #2 biggest, no, cooperative in the Philippines. Ang #1 is ACDI, military co-op, no, at 50 billion. Ito po ang pangalawa, no, that we're very proud kasi siya po ay community-based, no? Kasi po yung mga cooperative po community-based. Yan ang mahirap, madugo ang community-based, no? But alam niyo yan, no? But FICO is our model and leader, no? Almost 7 decades, no? Kung 100 years na yung cooperative in the Philippines, 70 years na ang First Community Cooperative in CDO, but they expanded all over the country, but heavily in Mindanao. At narinig natin kanina, they're trying to concentrate on the agri-sector, mga farmers and fishermen. Ang napakagandang matutukan ng kooperatiba. Thank you, Ed, for that.
Thank you, Father Anton. Thank you.
Father Anton and Sir Egay, no, meron pong question dito. Are there existing cooperatives po that focuses on IP? Ayan, a question from Yeltsin Advinsula. So baka Sir Egay, no, baka pwede nyo rin i-share yung mga initiatives ng FICO and ng FCOF for IPs naman daw.
Yeah, IT.
IP, Indigenous
IPs, yeah.
People.
Yeah. Itong ginagawa natin ngayon, yung mobile apps, Ma'am Rich at Father Anton, nakapokus ito sa mga farmers, sa mga IPs, no? Ito sila ang mga beneficiaries sa ating program na matulungan talaga natin sila. One of the problem na nangyayari sa kanila is they do not have access, no, to where they will market their vegetable. Only those mga traders pumupunta doon, and then they have small earnings from that, ano. And secondly, we want to teach the IPs, no, how to pack. Parang they will also have that medyo malalaking income naman ang maano nila. So with that, we want to educate them, we want to assist them, we want to support them, we want to put parang cold storage doon, parang maano talaga natin na kung iparating natin dito sa sa city yung mga product nila ma-appreciate at saka maraming magpapatronize, then that's the only way that we can help the IPs. So yun ang ginagawa natin, Father Anton and Ma'am Rich.
Thank you, Egay. Well, to be transparent with you, mga top cooperatives po, we organized just 2 years ago a digital technology federation, no? Ito po ang objective niyan is really to digitalize, no, and raise the bar ng digital technology ng cooperatives, especially yung aming credit operations, sabi nga ni Egay, no, to reach out to the farmers and the fisher folks, no, using the power of technology and providing loans and payment, no, sa pamamagitan ng technology. Kaya ito, we have a open architecture with DigiCoop. We would like to source partnership with the private sector in order to facilitate the digital technology development sa cooperative sector. Napakalaking market po niya, no? We are, sabi nga kanina, 10 to 12 million individual members kami. Kaya we would like to cooperativize our digital technology to provide services to all our members nationwide. Thank you.
Okay. Sige, just to also read out some of the other comments. So, how to connect po with the speakers. We have a startup in ideation phase focusing on farmers and fisher folks. It's a digital platform for alternative supply chain. A message from Jmel Imperial. No, so baka Sir Egay, Father Anton, how to connect daw po with you guys?
Yeah, we
Pwede
welcome.
po share yung Facebook or website.
Yeah, we welcome partnership. We can get our email. Meron po tayo sa Philippine Cooperative Center, meron po tayong yung tinatawag nating agri-pillar. No? And we need all the help in the agricultural pillar. Ito po yung mga agri-co-ops nationwide. No? We need to digitalize them. And we are open to partnership with private sector. Thank you.
Sir Egay, paano po ba makakonect sa inyo? Baka mayroong website. You can promote your website.
Yeah. Our website, www.pico.org. So yun siguro, they can that. And you can also maybe share our numbers, no? Rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige. So
you.
i-share ko na lang po yung email
email,
ni Sir Egay, no, Jmel. Okay,
Yeah.
sige. I'm just checking the other comments. Ayan, okay. For agri-co-ops, you might want to also check agri-co-op who's being run by former Congressman Chris Paes. They do multi-linking co-op agri-co-ops. Okay, sige. Thank you, Timmy. We'll check that out. So hopefully if you can also connect us with them, no, para maging part din siya ng roadmap natin.
Kasama si Congressman Paes, no? Is our good friend. Kasama po siya sa leading may federation siyang binuo. Kasama siya doon sa ating federation pillar ng Philippine Cooperative Center. No? Kasama po yan. Tsaka si Dr. Divine Kemi, magkakasama yung kanilang mga federation na nasa agri. Thank you.
Ayan, okay. So ayan, Timmy, part na raw pala si Congressman Paes sa initiatives ng co-op.
Chris Paes. Baka merong gustong i-add si Panjun, ano? Panjun, are you still there? Okay. Sa mga Western Visayas Alliance of Cooperatives. Okay.
Ay, wala na po ata si Sir Panjun.
Anyway,
may meeting na with BCC.
Go ahead, Reichelle.
Ayan. So, we also have one question from Michael Ohas. Do you have a partnership with Lamac MPC? So 2 years ago, no, so Father Anton connected us with Ma'am Ellen Limocon, the general manager of Lamac MPC. We were able to do a case study focusing on their partnership with Jollibee Food Corporation. new foundation, no, for their farmers entrepreneurship program. No, very interesting and exciting din yung ginagawa ng Lamak MPC, connecting their farmers with the corporations in terms of supply value chain. So hopefully we could also again invite Ma'am Ellen to be part of this roadmap. So if kayo po, Sir Michael, if you are part of Lamak, feel free to reach us or scan the QR code para yun, maging part na po kayo ng dialogue dito.
Yeah, Lamak is a award-winning billionaire cooperative in Cebu, no? That we are very proud of, no? At kasama po natin siya sa loop, sina Ellen, no? Sa mga successful female chairperson and CEO natin. We're very proud of her. At we can learn much from Lamak of Cebu. Thank you.
Last question na, Father Anton, meron pa po from Mawing Reblando. She or he says, Father Anton, good PM po. I'm sure you're familiar with the MCDC or PCDC. Are you working with government-initiated effort with the LGUs, especially in the federations and unions? Thanks, Mawing, from Clowell MPC. Ayan.
Oo, ang ating partnership po ng ating union, ang katapat ng mga Cooperative Development Council, yung pong ating Cooperative Development Officers, no, ng local government, yung pong ating mga unions. So, unfortunately, not all cities and provinces have a union and a strong union. That's why we're still strengthening. No? May mga areas of improvement po ang ating co-op sector. Kailan palakasin po natin ang mga union sapagkat ang union according to Article 25 of RA 9520, ito yung officially represents kung sino nagre-represent ng all types of all categories of cooperatives in every city, province, region, and national. Ito po yung union. Kaya talagang ito po yung area of improvement natin. Palakasin pa ang mga unions, no? Para ito po ang katapat for coordination and collaboration with the LGU all over the country. Thank you.
Ayan. Thank you, Father Antonio. So tama, no? That's also part of our action program to continue the dialogues with CDA, with LGUs, and even with other subsectors, no? Kaya nga naman ginawa talaga tong roadmap para magkaroon ng space for to talk about social enterprise development. Okay. Sorry, last question na. I think this is also important, Father Anton. Sabi ni Timmy from NATCO, question po, how do we see ourselves with the international CU or federation like ACU and WOCU?
WOCU and ACU, ito po yung mga international organizations, no, focusing on credit cooperatives, no. Kaya lang sila, ang membership po nila ay coming from federations, no? Like NATCO and PFCCO, for the information of everyone, one of our successful federations, yung pong PFCCO, Philippine Federation of Credit Cooperatives, at yung NATCO, no? Yung pong ating cooperative in Project 4, pero nationwide operation, one of the biggest federations in the Philippines, doing advocacy, training, and financial services ang NAPCO. Sila po ang naka-attached sa mga ACU at saka WOCU and ICA also, no? Kaya kami yung mga primaries, pag sinabi ng primary, ang mga miyembro individual na mga nagme-member po ng mga PFCCO at saka NATCO, at yung po ang yung pong mga federation na yan ang members ng international umbrella of cooperatives that provides us continuous education and training, data-rise, and impact evaluation also. Thank you.
Ayan. Okay. Sige, Father Anton, no? So si Lionel Torres, a manager of Silang Livestock Agriculture Cooperative, sinasabi po niya, nagre-report, we are creating a union in the municipality. So ano na po natin, katulong na natin sa pag-strengthen ng union system. Ayan, meron din po, Maria Teresa, we also organized a National Housing Cooperative Union. No? So tatandaan po natin itong mga pangalan na to.
As much as possible, yung pong mga federation natin, we would like them to focus on business expansion. Kaya yung mga katapat ng CDA, katapat ng local government, yung mga union. Kasi union kasi is according to Article 5, Article 25 of 95-20, the official representative of all kinds, all types, all categories of cooperative are the unions. Unions, yan. Thank you.
Ayan. Okay. And with that, we would like to close this session. No? So thank you so much, Father Anton. Thank you so much, Sir Egay. Sila Sir Panjo, no, lumipat na sa ibang meeting with PCC. Si Father Clay din po, no, meron din po ibang meeting. Pero we would like to thank you all the cooperators, no, for being the founding members. No? So hopefully, because of this session, we would be able to invite more cooperator leaders. We will again siguro publish the QR code or the link if you guys want to sign up. Yung PCC then, they are very active in the live chat if you want to connect with the Philippine Cooperative Center. For now, you can go to the breakout room. No, I think ongoing pa yung breakout room for the NGOs. In a while, we will be with Carlo, no, facilitating naman the session with the MSMEs and with the associations. So thank you so much, everyone. I think nasa 300 tayo. So at least hopefully na promote namin tong SE roadmap, na invite, na convince kayo kung bakit kayo kailangan sumama at so sign up na. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a good Thursday afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Father Anton and Ma'am Rich, thank you.
Congratulations to Bayan Academy. Thank you. Big.
Thank you.
Needing to be addressed worldwide, there has been mounting pressure for businesses to become inclusive, responsible, and sustainable. Doing well by doing good is now more relevant than ever. The idea of earning while bringing about change seems enticing, but really, what exactly is a social enterprise? Across the world, a social enterprise is viewed as a business with a social mission. Some countries have even come up with a legal definition to ensure that the social mission of an SE is effectively delivered. Depending on a country's laws, SEs can actually come in many organizational forms. According to the Asian Development Bank, social entrepreneurship is a viable and significant way to nudge the world closer to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity all by 2030. In the Philippines, this is how we are faring in our efforts towards the SDGs.
Hi, my name is Reese Fernandez Ruiz, President and co-founder of the brand Rags to Riches, and I have been a social entrepreneur since 2007. Social entrepreneurs tend to go to where the markets have failed or have been ineffective for a while. They tend to start because of a specific and tangible social mission, like say providing livelihood, regular and fair livelihood for farmers in a certain province, or creating recycling facilities for plastic. The problems that they're trying to solve are not the easiest to solve, and for good reason. These problems are rooted in corrupt systems or culture. So going back to the SDGs, why do we even have them in the first place? Because as a global community, we have been on the brink of different kinds of crises. And we can only solve our problems effectively together. So now it is not really together if many areas are forgotten and solutions don't take root in the communities where they should be happening. So supporting more social entrepreneurs is a good way of ensuring that we don't leave anyone behind.
In some countries that have a legal definition for social enterprises, SEs are not only viable and sustainable business entities, but must also channel their profits towards their social mission. Benefits may be seen in the form of profit division, but this is not the only way. In the Philippines, there is no legal definition yet for social enterprises, but SEs can be registered in different ways as MSMEs, corporations, cooperatives, NGOs, foundations, and even as people's associations. Social enterprises are supported by other organizations, public agencies, educators, incubators, investors and funders, and other support actors. Together, they make up the social enterprise ecosystem in the country. The social enterprise ecosystem in the country is currently fragmented, with scattered efforts to address the many social issues we're faced with. Another challenge in advancing social entrepreneurship in the country is the mixed understanding of what social enterprises really are. But despite this, social entrepreneurs and support actors are aware of the potential development impact that social enterprises can deliver.
There are many challenges faced by many Filipino social entrepreneurs. So first, social entrepreneurs need to balance so many bottom lines. Profit, yes, because that's needed, because without it, it will be hard to continue operating. Positive impact, absolutely, because for many of us, that's our reason for being, and the world needs more urgent and on-the-ground solutions. So it is tough to be a social entrepreneur because we are balancing many things, bridging many gaps, and creating systems from the ground up. These are a lot. But on top of that, social entrepreneurs can come from all walks of life and all types of industries. So really, standardizing support for us may be challenging. But there's a good news. The good news is there are a few things that we all need regardless of our industry. We need community, sustainable financing, mentorship, and ways for us to hone our leadership capabilities. It was able to survive because of the proof of concept that it can be done. So we only have a few of these proofs of concept, but they exist. And for those of us that are still here, alive and thriving, we have gotten this far because of support that came in many forms. So there were advocates and customers who supported our products from the very beginning when we were still learning. There were corporations who chose us for their corporate giveaways and helped us get accredited in their companies. There were a few financial institutions that extended much needed purchase order or inventory financing that help us operate. And there were institutions that created programs to train us and connect us to other partners.
From a cultural perspective, social enterprises embody the Filipino bayanihan spirit in its truest sense. Working together as a community to achieve a common goal and helping each other, especially in times of need, without expecting anything in return.
The Bayan family of foundations has been working to advance social entrepreneurship in the Philippines since 2009. So in 2021, we took this further and developed a national strategic plan, what we now call the National SE Development Roadmap, to unify the different players in the SE sector. Through this roadmap, we hope to establish processes that will support the growth of SEs in scope and size and to maximize the sector's impact on society. So this is going to be a 5-year initiative at least, and through this effort, we also hope to create a better awareness and understanding among the public of what SEs are. We've organized a National SE Governance Council to spearhead the implementation of the roadmap. So you may ask, who is the council? This council has representatives from the MSME or micro, small, medium enterprise sector, academe, NGO, cooperative, corporate, and government subsectors.
Through the roadmap, the different subsectors can effectively and efficiently contribute to the growth of social enterprises.
So social entrepreneurs are part of our bigger community. You'll see us all around you trying our best to create a positive impact while making a living and taking care of our families. So the best way to encourage more social entrepreneurs is to create the environment, infrastructure, and systems that would allow social entrepreneurs to survive, yes, but also thrive. So if you are a corporation, consider social enterprises in your supply chain. If you're a foundation, create long-term programs to hone and develop social enterprise leaders.
If you are a member of the academe, push for the development and offering of social enterprise programs.
But you know, whoever you are and wherever you're from, you can contribute positive things to the world, and supporting social entrepreneurs is a good way to do that. And lastly, join the Bayan family of foundations community and partners. The Bayan family of foundations is gathering and supporting some of the best social entrepreneurs of the future. So this is a good place to start to be part of the good.